What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Z, doing it real big, and joining me inside the DJ booth is a Grammy-nominated veteran R&B singer whose Def Jam debut in Love and War is set for release this fall. Please welcome Ameriie. How are you?
Hey, I'm great, Z. What's up? Thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for joining me inside the DJ booth. In Love and War, fourth studio album, but the first since 05's Touch, set for a wide release here in the United States. Is the feeling the same this time around, or is it different?
It's a little different. Every time I always feel like it's kind of like brand new every time. Because I just released my last album, Because I Love It, in overseas. And that was in 2007, I believe.
Yes.
So it felt kind of different then as well. But this time, I guess with it being a new label and everything, it definitely feels like a different energy, a new energy. And I'm really excited. And it's great because I'm working with some, awesome people. And everyone's very passionate about what they're doing and very creative. So this is what I love to do. So I'm just really happy. Great place right now.
Absolutely. You sound happy, which is the most important thing. You mentioned you parted ways with Sony. You're now on Def Jam. What led you to your new label home?
For the most part, just feeling like with all the changes that the previous label was going through, it's so important for a label to be really, really behind a project. It's just artists. We do what we do. We might have great ideas for things, but ultimately the music speaks for itself. At the same time, you really want a label to kind of go all in with you to really, really make everything as successful as it could be. And I just felt like the company was just going through too many changes, like structurally, to really, really get that. So after a couple of years of thinking about it, I kind of really decided that's what I wanted to do. And I had also been talking to L.A. Reid at the time, kind of decided that that's where I would want to go. And I just kind of went from one to the other.
In addition to Def Jam, you're also releasing this album with your entertainment company, Phoenix Rising. Now, I did a little research. In mythology, a phoenix was a sacred bird which symbolized hope and rebirth. So do you believe that this new album represents a sort of rebirth for you?
I wouldn't say that it's a rebirth, but I don't really see it that way. This project to me is, for the mantra of the company is definitely that, art never dies and creativity, it lives forever. As far as this album is concerned, my thing with In Love and War was just wanting to create a project that spoke of a less idealized sense of love and relationships and more like things that people really go through usually. No relationship is perfect because no human being is perfect.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to just really speak about going through hard times, coming out of it, getting closer for it, or going through hard times and realizing that that's not the situation. But every song is like a facet of a relationship or a perspective of a potential relationship.
I read that you actually mapped out the sound of In Love and War before you sat down to work with any producers. Do your best travel agent impersonation for me and detail where the album takes us from start to finish, if you will. Well,
I'm still putting together the track listing, so this trip won't necessarily hit at this point. All steps are tentative and possibly not in the right order.
Okay.
But we go through the lustful stage, which is a period of time where you may see someone that is able to bring something else to the table that has never been brought before, hence the title Heard 'Em All. Mm-hmm. And we also go through the bumpy terrain of relationships and why are you, which is pretty much about all the tumultuous times of dealing with someone that you know that is probably not good for you. Quite a lot of turbulence because 80% of our trip is like that. So just buckle your seatbelt.
That was a great tour.
Thanks. It was quick.
Well, you know what? Everybody will get the full tour when they pick up the album, so you don't want to give them too much.
Exactly. But, everyone will be able to relate to it. Anyone who's in a relationship or in a semi-relationship or a relationship in their head has been through these things.
The lead single off the project, Why Are You, has a very distinct hip-hop vibe. Should listeners expect more or less of this sound on the project as a whole?
There's definitely more. This album, sonically, it's a fusion of hip-hop, soul, and rock. Less like alternative rock and more like soulful rock and roll. Like rock and roll, late 60s, 70s era when it's still very bluesy, that whole approach to the rock, music of that time. And it's a great blend. There's definitely, more samples in there. I love hip-hop, so I had to incorporate that. That's a major part of the album.
When you incorporate a wide variety of genres, do Do you question whether or not the continuity of the album will be hurt by that, or does it seem to mesh very well?
That's the thing that's important. That's why, not even this album, but all my albums, I pretty much know where I want to go sonically before I start. Usually what I do, and it was the case with this album as well, especially I should say, is in the beginning I figure out what I want. Different meetings with different people that I know that I kind of like hear something that they do that I feel like could definitely be incorporated into the sound of the album. We talk, we meet, and then people just start sending tracks. And I kind of am like a hermit artist in that I do like to work in my own zone sometimes, because most of the time, because I just feel like I can think clearly that way.
Absolutely.
I can really just give myself a chance to really think everything through and just really feel and be connected to whatever's inside without, someone, having a first and then kind of spread out from there. With the album, it was really just figuring out the sound, like the meat of the album. And then after I figured that part out, then I just started to even see different, see more producers, and sometimes actually go in with producers in different studios and actually start creating things together. But to make sure that your album doesn't sound like a potpourri of tracks or like a soundtrack or some kind of like compilation CD, and it could be like different artists.
Yeah.
That's hard. To be really consistent, it was very important to make sure that I knew where I wanted to go, meander off the path sometimes and explore different things and new vibes, but not forgetting where you were trying to go in the first place.
Let's discuss the vision a little bit more. I saw the video for Why Are You, and I saw your promo photos, and it gives off this graphic novel perception. When you discussed with your people the best way to kind of market the image that you wanted for this album, what'd you come up with exactly?
I never tell them how I want them to market things and putting the spin on things, because that's kind of like, I leave it up to them to do it. They're the experts at it. I definitely know how I want things to look. When it came time to decide what I wanted to do for image-wise, for the packaging, I really had one photographer in mind. There was one person I to work with, and that's Tim Brett Day, who actually did the shoot.
Okay.
I really wanted to work with him because his work is just so exciting. He's done different editorials, but he works, with a team. He's in the UK, and he works with Trader and a computer graphics designer. So there's a lot of balancing what's real and what's not real, what's fantasy and what's, reality. I wanted the packaging and the whole artwork for the project to not just be like studio session shots. I didn't want them to be just like regular beauty photos, because I just don't find that very interesting myself.
I agree.
So it was really, to me, just like, what do I want to do? And I wanted to do something different. I wanted to do something that could convey the whole pain of being in a relationship and going through an up and down of like love and war, I guess, and happiness and misery and feeling good and feeling in the depths of despair.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, it is utterly refreshing to hear an artist who actually put some thought behind the image that they wanted to accompany their music, because far too often I ask that question, and the only response I really get is, oh, it looked good, it looked cool. Give me something better, The concept, Ameriie, of love and war is quite complex. Are you someone that believes that you need to go through a war of sorts within your relationship in order to know whether or not you truly love the person?
I don't think you have to go through like a war or like a battle or like a huge, and I don't want to say just one battle, because I guess you go through many. I don't think you need to get so close to the breaking point to realize if you do love someone. What I can say is if you do go through that, you definitely know if you love the person or not. If you're still hanging around, it must be for some reason, because it has to be worth it.
Absolutely. Let's stick on the love topic. Another track on the album is the Teddy Riley produced Tell Me You Love Me, and I am no love doctor whatsoever, but if you need to tell someone to tell you that they love you, is that not a signal that maybe the relationship's not working out?
That's the thing about it, it's true. In Telling Me You Love Me, it's about being in that pain where you were so desperate because you're so in love. You're so desperate for any inkling or any kind of positive anything from that other person. You were just that determined to make them love you, or just to show you that this relationship is real. And even though people might not actually explicitly say so, they do that all the time. Like, guys will always kind of lay their cards out there. And women kind of do the same thing. But I always feel like the big difference between men and women is that you can eventually win over a woman, but I don't think men can be won over. They are a lot more aggressive, and they're kind of more dominant when it comes to certain things. So if you really truly have a man, you'll like know it in the beginning. But a woman can be totally disinterested, and if you wear her down long enough and you're persistent enough, you might actually win her over. I don't think that men are that way.
I've not conducted a study to back that research there, but I will say without a doubt you're onto something.
See, that's why I never really like the whole Mr. Big Carrie relationship in Sex and the City. I never bought it because I was like, no guy is going to be acting like that for 7 years and all of a sudden you're the love of his life.
I've never seen the show, but I'm going to believe you.
You've never seen not even one episode?
I know that Sarah Jessica Parker's in it, but other than that, I know nothing about the show.
You have to watch the show. Your homework assignment is to get all the DVDs and watch them in order, and then get the DVD of the movie to prepare you for the movie that's about to come out.
Do you really feel like if I watch this, and I watch it closely, not just as a casual observer, I will be able to improve my relationship knowledge? Is that what the show can actually do for me?
No, because I thought Carrie was playing herself. All of those episodes, I did not buy it at all. So I don't think you'll improve your relationship knowledge. What I can tell you that from the guys I've talked to about the show, they seem very fascinated about the conversations that women have amongst each other. It kind of will give you a sneak peek into like our conversations. I can say that much. So that much should probably be interesting enough for you to check it out.
Okay, so you'd say that what takes place on the show is pretty realistic then?
I mean, some of it is definitely exaggerated, but it's the closest thing to like female locker room talk, I guess.
Okay. I'll make sure to stop by my nearest Blockbuster, pick up season 1, and we'll have to reconvene this conversation, let's say, 8 or 9 weeks after your album drops, and we'll talk all about it.
Definitely.
Everybody looks forward to that, as well as the brand new album, In Love and War, out this fall. Give everybody a website, a MySpace page, a Twitter account, so they can find out all about you.
Cool. My MySpace is Ameriie. AMERIE MIMARIE. My Twitter is It's Me, Ameriie. And I do have a website called loveamarie.com that I'm actually in the process right now of building up. So it's not finished yet, it's not complete yet. It's kind of an old, everything on there is old right now, but I'm looking at different mock-ups and everything. So that will be something to check out too. Lots of information on there as well.
Wonderful. Well, again, I thank you for taking the time to join me inside the DJ booth, and the best of luck.